This shukr is the first starting point of your ibadah. Once you understand this properly, then you know what you're going to do. You will know really, okay, since this all things have been given to my Lord, and I thank Him, then I should use them as my Lord wants. Then He'll give more, not as I want, because it's not mine anyway. Then your eyes, if you did not make them, and you did not actually own them, and it is given by someone else, ask Him how to use it. If you use as He wants, He'll help you more. Your tongue has been given to you. To ask Him what the purpose of tongue is, what function of the tongue, and how should I use. If you make this attitude, if you think, no, it is my eye, I can see whatever I like, certainly it's not your eye. He's going to be angry with you. He is giving time, but certainly you get punishment because it's not your eye. Understand properly, since everything has been given to you by Him, you have to learn from Him how to use it. That next step after shukr, that actually real ibadah comes. It is obey Him and stop from disobedience of Him. This is very much. The beginning of the point is shukr, thanking, and the shukr actually makes you to realize you are not independent to use as you like. You have to use it as the one who gave it, He wants. Basically, meaning it, you have to please Him. You have to make effort to obey Him, not yours. Don't obey yourself. Obey your master, the one who gave you. The one who gave me my eyes, I have to obey to Him. The one who gave me tongue, I have to obey Him. How to use the tongue, I have to obey. Not that you can say, sometimes people can use abusive words against their wives, and they think nobody listens. But Allah listens. The one who gave you, the one who can harm you most, He listens. Why you scared of the people? Can they harm you? Maybe they can harm you a little bit. But tell me, who can harm you more in this world? Allah. The one who can harm you the most, you don't care about Him. The one who gave everything, you don't care about Him. And people do really. People have seen people humiliate people because they think nobody knows. Tell me, if nobody knows, Allah knows. And certainly Allah can harm you more than anybody else. He can benefit you more than anybody else, and He can harm you more than anybody else. Thank Him, He will recognize you. And if and obey Him, He will really respect you and appreciate your obedience. If you don't listen to Him, certainly going to harm you. The shukr basically leads you to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, properly. This thing, if I want to teach you properly, in another words, basically simple thing in this world to have to understand is, Allah has got two main attributes. One is He's a Rabb, and one is Ilah. Try to understand these attributes properly. Rabb and Ilah. What Rabb means? Rabb means He's a creator, He's a master. So when He created you, He created you certain qualities. You need to eat, you need to drink, you need to have sex relation, so many things. As Rabb has made things like that. Then He's Ilah as well. He commanded you how to use those things. So for that, you can eat and drink because this actually His part. His Rabb. So He made you because you need energy. You can eat and drink, and you can eat and drink whatever you like. You can do. But if you think really that it's coming from Him, I should obey Him. That's Ilah, Uluhiyya. The thing really is, in this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants you to follow those laws which come from Him as Ilah, not what comes from Him as a Rabb. If you follow Him, those laws which come from Him as Ilah, then He become happy. If you follow those laws which come from Him as a Rabb, He never becomes happy. Because for example, if you eat and drink, because just you want enjoyment, eating, drinking, because this is how I'm like believers and believers to both eat and drink. Is it going to make Him happy? No. But I need to eat, but let me think really what my Lord wants me to eat, and how to eat, how much to eat. I should listen to Him. When you think like that, He becomes happy. You eat also same thing, but when you change your attitude, you think, no, I should eat really, that what my Lord has allowed me, and the amount He allowed me, it becomes ibadah. Meaning receiving those qawaneen, those laws which Allah made as Ilah, that is ibadah. Following those laws which Allah made as a Rabb, it is not ibadah. If people just eat and drink to please themselves, it is not ibadah. But if people eat and drink the way Allah wants, it becomes ibadah. Similarly, people basically by nature, they want to have relation, men and women. And the children will happen, by nature it will happen. Whether you want or don't want, it will happen if you have a relation. This is part of rububiyyah. But no. This desire is there. Let me see how my Lord wants to happen. He wants me to marry properly, and then this and that, and I should listen to Him. You do the same thing, but what happens? It becomes ibadah. To you see the difference between ibadah and other thing? Meaning is, there will always be desire, and there will be opposing the desire will be ibadah. Desire is to do as you like. Ibadah is to do as Allah likes. Simple thing. You do same thing, but as Allah likes. In all the matters that what believers need to be trained properly. To try to understand in this life is, do things as He wants. That is ibadah. If you do things as you want, that what? That word called hawa. So there are two words in Arabic language, hawan and hudal. Hawa means to do things as you want. Huda means guidance. Huda means to do things as Allah wants. Tell me when the Quran says, ذَلَكَ كِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ هُدًى. Quran has come as Huda. Has Quran come to do what you want or to do what Allah wants? Tell me. Has Quran come to teach you what you want, or Quran has come to teach you what Allah wants? Tell me. Tell me what Quran does. Does Quran does actually what you want? No. Quran commands you to do what Allah wants, not what you want. This actually people have to understand really. Don't run your life by hawa. Run your life by huda. That's successful. That Quran says then people are successful. That Quran says وَأُولَٰئِكَ عَلَىٰ هُدًى مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. They are the one who are on the huda, and they are the one who is successful. Success comes from where? From hawa or huda? Tell me. Where the success comes? Huda. You know, if you keep eating and think, oh, eating actually I want to eat more and more, I love eating. Tell me what will happen. You know, basically you become fat, and then the door will be too narrow for you to leave. You are all the time on the bed. You can't. Is it successful life? But if you eat as He commands, you be healthy. You can move. You know that's what He wants. He is not your enemy. You know, His commands for you to help you. He knows your nature. He knows who you are. So when He commands you to eat certain things, going to help you. In anybody who follows the hawa, they harm themselves before they harm the other person. Try to understand. You never can. Whenever you don't listen to your Lord, you harming yourself before you harming anybody else. You can't harm anybody else anyway. If you do harm the other person and he has sabr, he gets reward. So you can't harm anyway. If you laugh at me, and Allah does not want you to laugh at me, tell me who you are harming. Yourself or me? Yourself. You're getting sin and I'm getting reward. You never can harm anybody. If the women, they become angry at their husbands and they humiliate them, who is being harmed? The women, not the husband, because they get reward. And if the husband is angry and he is insulting his wife, who is harmed? He is harmed, not the woman, because he's the one who gets sin and she's the one who gets reward. Try to understand properly. When you follow what pleases you, harmful to you. And whatever you follow, what pleases Allah, good for you. That's Quran says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. They are the one who are successful. Success comes from following the Allah's instruction, not your. Don't instruct yourself. Don't become your instructor. Allah is your instructor. He instructs you how to do, then do it. Don't become your own instructor. Now I want to explain to you what hawa means really. This hawa is a problem. And people have to know that hawa is a problem. That's why Quran said, فَأَمَّا مَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ وَنَهَى النَّفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَى فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَى. Those people who fear is standing in front of their Lord and they stop from following hawa. They don't follow the hawa, they get paradise. Hawa is a problem. When you do what you want, it is a problem. But when you do what Allah wants and stop yourself from the hawa, you get paradise. So hawa we have to understand properly. Now, what hawa really is? Hawa is basically indication. Hawa is indication that you need certain things. Like for example, hawa is like you become hungry, you become thirsty, you have a desire for relation. So it is basically. So why this desire Allah has made? For a purpose. Desire has been made as indication. Means you need something. But desire is blind. Desire cannot teach you what you need and how much you need. So when you need a relation with a woman, then you use your mind properly. I think, okay, now God this is desire, but I should not listen to my desire. I should think really what in this case, when I desire for the relation, what my Lord has commanded me. Is it clear? So desire is indication. It tells you, alerts you. Then what you do? Then forget desire, come to your Lord. When you feel hungry, it is a good thing. Desire makes you to feel hungry. But now don't listen to the desire. Come to your Lord and ask Him, oh my Lord, I feel hungry, what should I do? Then He'll tell you what you eat and how much you eat. If people do it properly, then they'll be happy. About the desire, there are certain things you have to know really. Desire is indication. If you treat them as indication, it is helpful to you. Desire is what? Indication. That you need certain things needed. Your body needs certain things. If you just treat it like that, You repeat. But if desire becomes instructor, it is going to harm you. Means if you follow desire, that's a problem. If your desire only alerts you, and then you obey your Lord, it is good. Like you are hungry, you want to eat. But what to eat and how much to eat, I am not going to ask my desire. I am going to ask who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you listen to desire, no, I want to eat, or let me eat anything I want, I enjoy food so much. It is problem really. If Hawa is treated as an indication, it is helpful. But if Hawa becomes instructor and commander, that's a problem.